Hello? While since I've followed me a lot. I haven't streamed very, very long while, so part of me is pretty confident that something has broken. Thus, like how since did this, the microphone broke. I should have done this beforehand. Okay. Yeah, no, it's not working. Okay, I can move. I'm trying to be I have to like talk right into it. Like just I don't know. Feels like I need to up all this like bring the sensitivity to always sounds super garbled. You can't even hear that. Hmm. I wonder if it's the filters, actually. Again, should have done this beforehand, but, you know. Here we are. Very... I'll get rid of the noise gate and see if that... Okay, so getting rid of the noise gate was maybe a bad idea, because now it's picking up just everything. So what I will do, get the noise gate, add, then I will lower it, and I think it's good. Let me just lower it a little bit more. Yeah. Uh, mm, Completely honest, I don't know how open and close gate works. Like the thresh. You know what? Okay. That was me hitting my desk. I'll raise it a little bit. I realized I sound like an idiot because you couldn't see. And no, it doesn't matter. Yeah, no, it's working. Anyway, I did like the not grotesque at all. Not because I'm a pussy. No, no, no. But because the game sometimes breaks, right? When you get to the final tier, and what happens, you see... Ooh, shiv. I'm to use my English roots, but what happens is the game occasionally just breaks. If, like, when you get to the final stage. Like, so yeah, I'm just tickling them. I'm not an all-ages channel. Okay, let's see, what? Elbow. You can definitely tell that these guys are all aggressively European by how pink they are. You know, I watched the Avatar movie recently, and they used pink skin as a slur, and I like that because... Oh my god, just give up. Okay, there we go. I like that because it implies that only white people are invading Pandora, and I don't know. Just find that funny to think about. Okay, and I promise you, any skill is completely accidental. Yeah. And I'm not good at this game, and I just kind of swing wildly until I win or I die. Hand axe, regular axe. The only thing I'm really thinking about here is what's the best thing to defeat the boss with. Because you see, scythes in this game are very, very weird. In that if it touches you weird, you die, essentially. Like, you just... Yeah, I've cycled through all the weapons, I still can't decide what I want to use. Because a knife feels too risky. Something happens, but I'm not... What is that sound? Archiguff. Not actually sure if I'm winning or not. Well, I managed to beat up some very malnourished Europeans, so it's going pretty well. So fun to do, like, in-game instead of out. Trying to figure out if I know you from somewhere. Probably not. Anyway, sorry. That time I was just sucking on my finger. Because I'm special like that. Yeah. Should I get the full game? Because I've heard, like, different takes on it. Where it's either, like, really good or it was not, basically. Okay, now, because I heard the sound, but it didn't pop up in the corner of my screen. As you can tell, I'm very professional. So what I'm literally doing is pulling up my own channel on YouTube and then gonna try and just watch my own video, essentially. There we go. About how dapper my profile is. Okay, there we go. Now I can actually see what you're saying. Okay, what weapon should I go for? Because again, I don't want to get... I mean, that's good. Yeah. That's how it is with... Well, I'll try this. I don't... Scale of 1 to 10. How big of a nerd are you with medieval stuff? I'm about middle of the road, you know. I do have a diagnosis with autism, so that, like, helps me a little bit. Give me your hammer. Where is it? Oh, yeah. See, a refund is not the issue. The issue is... don't have money to spare. Oh, I do, but, like... I don't know. So... I quit my job recently, so I'm making sure to, like, be not too frivolous with my purchases. That and Subnautica 2 came out recently. So, you know, need to destroy the wildlife in there. So my original plan was just to, like, wait a bit to buy the full game. Just so they could take care of all the optimizing stuff. The only... Oh yeah, so this is the boss I was talking about. Oh yeah, well, you play the game. That's the fastest I've ever done it. When I was first learning the game, I would get stuck on the first boss so often because I couldn't figure out how to pick something up. It's because I press and hold E. So... Oh yeah, the pitchfork. Yeah, the pitchfork is good. However, I don't like the thrusting in this game. Like, I'm amazing at thrusting anywhere else. Just ask, ask Rohankanek. You wouldn't get that reference. You don't know that ball. But, yeah. The pitchfork, the thrusting's really weird in this game. Like, I'm hoping that in the full game they, like, fixed a couple of the attacking. I'll just do a regular sword. Look at the fit, though. Tims and everything. Like, a couple things that I'm not, like, stellar about is that, well, A, whenever I'm attacking, it always feels like I end up just looking down. That and, like, the thrusting is, like, really weird, because I also end up looking just down. Oh, you gave up. Pussy. The trick with making an insult land is to say it with as much, oral velocity as you can. So if you say something, you have to say it like how Draco says Potter, or Potter. I don't know. I'm going on a tangent. I know it's like kind of counterintuitive given that, like, I'm streaming, but I'm not used to, like, narrating what I do. I did it! Thrusting is not one of them. Yeah. Carnage. Also, something, not sure if you were here for the exclamation room. Yeah, I'm gonna give up before I die. Potter. But, damn, I lost my train of thought. Yeah, I'm not used to narrating what I do, which is ironic given that I'm streaming. So I'm just trying not to say nonsense. I'm actually surprised that, like, I got you looking on YouTube, because usually, like, YouTube is not very good at, like, promoting streams. I know. It's a pretty wild take. I've actually have done, like, sword fighting in real life. Like, I did some, like, a couple, like, just boo herd for fun. Like, not, we wouldn't have, like, armor and stuff, no padding. I do have a knight's helmet, and it's the standard crusader helm, but I couldn't find any others. But I've also done stage combat, which is, like, fighting, and I've also done fencing. I have, like, the whole mask and stuff. I wanted to learn saber, but I got busy with a bunch of other stuff. But there's this one guy I'd always, like, duel against. Okay, thrusting. And he fenced me like I cracked his wife, because there's a way in fencing, the way it works is that, you know, you thrust, obviously, but he'd wait till he was like 2 feet away from me, and like he was trying to stab someone like 2 feet behind me, like no one has 4 feet of reach. Yeah. Ooh, you do YouTube too. I'll definitely take a look. I'm definitely getting back into the groove, because I used to stream a whole lot more. But, like, just this year has been pretty crazy. Because, you know, life developments changed majors. Honestly, and it's honestly the biggest, like, drain on any money I am making. Because, well, changing majors means I have to do a bunch of first-year courses again. But I kind of want to change additionally. You know, you said you do YouTube, sorry. But, yeah, big year, so, yeah. Got all classes, and I'm gonna admit I changed to business. Business is just so hard, you know? Also, I was in a TV show, that was cool. Because I do acting occasionally. I haven't done it in a while, because again, busy, but I need to update a bunch of stuff for it. That was, I promise you, any skill is accidental. But, yeah, so basically the reason, what made me change is that, like, well, originally I was doing, like, was doing biology, but I realized that, hey, because I really like biology, like, but I realized that I don't like it professionally, if that makes sense, because I'll do faster stamina, but, like, I really like it as a hobby when, well, there's no pressure, and I can research the things I'm actually interested in, and that kind of stuff. Because I really like ecology, like evolution, all basically just animal stuff. But what I don't like is chem disguised as bio, where... Yeah. So now I'm in business, which, honestly, this is going to be a wild take, but it's I'm finding it a bit more difficult, because there is no intuition with a lot of the things. Like, let's see, I had one management class. Yeah. One class for management. If you forget a turn, you're just kind of toast. Like, you can't figure it out. because everything has to be done so specifically. That's also why I hated accounting. None of it makes sense. Like, I technically know how to make a bank balance, like a balance sheet or whatever. I hated it. So, just pause it, because you want to know what my grade in that class was? Well, first they'll tell you what you need to pass. You need 60% overall to pass. You want to know what I got? 61.8%. Closest I've ever come to failing a class. And I was honestly trying too, because till that I thought I was pretty smart, you know, overall. Turns out I'm not very good with money. You can probably gather that from the fact that I have a night helmet when I don't have a job. I have a couple lined up, but, you know, it's just been like a couple week break because I was working at 7-Eleven and my manager was terrible. And basically, yeah, that's what I'm very good at that. I can fail upwards. So basically, I quit because he was threatening to fire me. So I told him to fuck off, and then I did that. I quit. Because basically, I have trouble keeping my mouth shut occasionally. Because, you know, it's a pretty mouth, I gotta use it. That sounds weirder than I intended it to be, but yeah, you just treat everyone like shit. And it's like, well, if you don't want to come in on Saturday, like, yeah, I'm busy on Saturday. If you don't want to come in, then I could always just find someone else. You know, you are replaceable. And I said, wow, if I'm so replaceable, then do it. And then I quit and told him to insert large objects up himself, and I don't regret it. It is not. I was a clerk at 7-Eleven. It was not that deep. There we go. I know you're meant to be strict with some things. Like, it's like, oh, you have to show up at this time. Like, you have to stay exactly until, like, you're not allowed to leave even if no one's coming in and everything's packed up. But, like, it's a job at 7-Eleven. I get being strict with things that need to be strict, but this was not one of those things. Yeah, so a couple things I've lined up is, I'm actually going to be working at a summer camp. Like, well, I could. Another one is, like, working at, because I live near, like, a pretty big river, so I could be, like, inflating rafts and stuff. That's one, but I want to do something where I'm just outside. So that's one job. And another one I applied for is that I'm pretty confident I'm going to get, because I already had, like, some interviews and stuff. But it'd be, like, teaching summer camp. I'd be teaching soccer to kids at summer camp. But the thing is, I'm not a very... I know basically nothing about soccer or football. So, that's... They're 5. Basically, I just need to tell them, don't touch it with your hands, and don't eat whatever is on the floor. It just wants to be something... I just want to do something where I'm outside, essentially. Because if you... The light that I have isn't helping, but my complexion is, you know, well, it's very Canadian, I'll say that much. But my complexions haven't seen the sun in a couple weeks, and it's finally, like, the temperature is now consistently positive. So I've been going outside more, and no one ever told me that when you go outside you feel better. The weather where I live, because I live in Alberta, which is basically Canadian Texas, but the weather is nothing like it, where the weather here is so inconsistent, where I thought summer would have started like 3 weeks ago, because what would happen would be like, on the weather station, be like, okay, today we're going to have a high of plus 20 Celsius. Just in case you're... What's that in Fahrenheit? 20 C to Fahrenheit. Yeah, it's going to be a high of like 68. And then next day, oh, it's minus 20 again. Minus 20. Oh, we're having a bunch of snowfall. And then it goes back to being like 68 again. 68 again. and then it'd be like just, yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, and now it's like it's been positive for like a couple weeks, like no, like a week, and that is a very long time. Oh yeah, you live in England? Yeah. Everything stops being gray, which is, I'm so glad. But now it's just gone to being blinding. Because I know it might be a little like privileged of me to say that where I live gets too much sun, especially in spring, because when there's still snow everywhere, there aren't many high buildings where I live either, so you get blinded. Like, driving is a nightmare. But, yeah, there's just sun constantly. And it's staying light till very late now. And that's messing me up. And when you're outside, no matter where you look, you're just getting blinded. Because some of the taller buildings are meant to be fancy and modern, and what that translates to in architecture speak, which I did a class on. I'm basically a master's in it, because I did a single class. What that translates to is a lot of reflective surfaces. So you look up, and it's just zzz. And I already have a bad habit of looking directly into lights. Yeah. And you can have... Like, I'm glad it's back. We're just like, calm down. It's also not getting dark until like 8 o'clock, which sounds, I don't know, is that normal for England? Like, because it looks like noon right now, and it's like 6 o'clock for me. So yeah, it's not getting dark till 8, and that's tripping me up worse than usual, because in the winter, it gets dark at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And it's just like lights out. No, it's funny. I have a special friend, and she's Peruvian, and she's there right now. She's like, "Oh, it's winter. I'm actually feeling kind of cold." And I was like, "Oh, what's the temperature?" "Oh, it's like it's like 25, hit 30." I was like, "Cold. That is hotter. That'd be a record. That'd be the hottest day of the month here." It's like, oh, it's pretty chilly. And today it's only 11, which, I finally got to bust out the jeans again. I have no idea how we got the weather. Also, I really like this stick, because I'm a simple guy, so, just a stick with, like, spikes in it is more than effective enough for me. And that is my guy. Sorry, bro. And I am glad the sun's back, because I can actually do things outside. I really want to go to more rent fairs, but there aren't many good ones here where I live in Canada, because, see, the thing with Canada is that everything is very far away from each other. Like, insanely so. The guy should just give up at this point. What if I can just, like, get him? That worked. Yeah. I always found it interesting, just, like, how effective spears are. And they're, like, the first weapon humans made. Because it's just sharpening a stick, but, like, it is the most consistent weapon, like, for damage and just, like, in a long-term, like, conflict because of how, like, utility you get from it, too. I did want to learn how to do polearms, like, learn how to use polearms. Like, I learned a little bit, but then I ended up moving, and there's just nowhere really to do it. Can't tell, like, I like combat kind of stuff. Don't get it twisted, I'm a massive lightweight. Like, okay. Barely... Sorry, I'm just trying to focus on getting this stuff. Because I think I'm just under 80 kilograms, which sounds like a lot, but I'm 6'4". That is like verge of being underweight. But I've been going to the gym and, you know, getting big and strong. It's been 2 weeks and I don't have a six-pack yet. It's so hard. Sorry, I'm gonna focus. This is not going well. I'm gonna give up. It's too locked in. But yeah. It's been 2 weeks and I don't have an 8-pack yet. Okay. Yeah, I would not have made it as an English peasant. I mean, I'm asthmatic, so that, and I heard someone throw up the other day. And I've done biology and stuff. I've seen some pretty oh no, I've seen some pretty unfavorable videos. But apparently, hearing someone throw up was like on the verge of being too much for me. I mean, in this singular bio class, I had to watch a live birth 3 times. And they were spaced apart, and it was like first thing in the morning too. So that was the closest I've ever come to becoming gay. Because like it took me a bit to like look at people again. You know, and that's how more people are made. Because regardless of race, you're brown when you come out. This is a weird topic, so I'm gonna drop it a little. But yeah, I've done that. I also, before Canada, I lived in Australia, so I did a bunch of fishing there. Like, gut a fish, that's easy. I know hearing someone throw up is, yeah, hearing someone throw up was too much. You know, wait, I just thought something. You know who this guy reminds me of? Bruce Willis, but if he had an iron deficiency and was malnourished. Yeah. I thought this weapon would be really effective if I knew how to use weapons in this game properly. I wonder what this boss is. Okay, how'd I get to talking about weird stuff I've seen? Oh yeah, I always assumed the Putin? Yeah. I kinda see it. I don't think he quite has enough, like, it's too pink, I think. Like, it's not quite Slavic enough. I have a good story that, well, you don't know anyone I know. I have this one friend, right? He's kind of weird, especially about girls, because he's obsessed with finding a Slavic woman. He's like, oh, Slavic girls are where it's at. It's like, okay. You know, you could also like see if you like the girl. Like, no, Slavic. Like, hey, I don't know how you're going to find like a Russian girl or something in Canada. Like, I know we're both pretty far north, but they don't tend to come here for, you know, more of the same. And, like, yeah, I don't know, it's really weird about it, and I honestly find it kind of funny. And his reason is that he fears them a little bit, and he can't be with a woman he doesn't fear. Yeah, but, like, the reason, like, I need to fear this woman. It's like, I guess, bro. Like, also, I forgot to mention this guy is like, he's very Korean. So, I know this like doesn't play into things a whole bunch, but like I've told the story to other people, and there's like they always assume he's like extremely white, which I kind of get, but like. I get why they make the assumption, but no, he's different kind of It was like a reverse weeb. You know? He's not unfit by any means, but like the way he's spoken, like my God. Can't tell if he needs to talk to less women or if he needs to talk to more. Like just talk to them. But you know, I can't fully complain because, well, like with anything else, it's pretty normal. But it also gives me really funny stories. So all works out in the end. I just need to make sure that if I find any Russian women, I tell them to run. What other good stories do I have? I got the fully armored guy. What I'm noticing in this game is like, when I'm not trying too hard, that's when I do best at it. So like, go with the flow. I do kind of get like, saying you have a preference. Like, preference is not a bad thing at all, but like, I don't want to reveal too much, because even though like, oh, you don't know who he is, even where I am, all that stuff, like it still is kind of like the way he's talking about other things, like that's only, it's like, oh, personality and I fear them. It's like, yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna put down the shovel before I reveal something a bit too much. Oh no. I didn't give up fast enough. I think I beat it twice, and both times were I wasn't paying attention, and the second one wasn't out of spite, but it was a little bit of fucking with someone. Because I had a friend who's the one that introduced me to this game. He really likes this game. So, it's like I had picked it up like... He'd been playing it for months. I picked it up like... I don't know, maybe a month ago maybe? And so we decided to do a race. His last time he watched me play was when I was losing to the first boss because I couldn't pick up the any of the weapons. So we did a race, and it was the race like who can finish the gauntlet first. And I won. It is massively RNG, but it was kind of just in spite, because I know how, I wouldn't be upset, but how funny it would be if I beat him, given how much, like, you see how I'm playing. I play pretty methodically. He just kind of like, well, no, he plays methodically. I just kind of wave shit around. And I think I've just lost. I don't think you heal down here either. Oh, is that helmet? I just need anything. I think I'm cooked. Here we go. Someone let me pick it up. Oh, we ball. That might be him. Might be you. No! Bitch! No. Okay, I need to find any clothing or armor or anything. I'm hoping it's the boss. Yeah, just making sure to come from the left so he can block his shield. Okay, my arm's healed, I think. No fun story. I've actually been walking around like this once because I used to do theater. I wasn't a theater kid. I was a kid who did theater. And there is an important distinction because theater kids... You know what I mean, right? it's like kid who does theater. But oh, did I win? I don't need the pole arm. Because I'm him. But yeah. Oh yeah, okay, so the story, right? I can't change what I have, but yeah. I was a kid who did theater, and then one time, I went to change for like one of the, I think it was a play that the teacher had written, and it was honestly pretty good. It was like Susification of Romeo and Juliet. This was like my last year of middle school, so I don't remember who I was. I wasn't one of the main characters, but what happened was that there was meant to be 2 of us. It was for like a bit. So I went to the bathroom to change, right? Because I need to like, I don't remember why, but I didn't have the rest of my clothes. So I went to the bathroom to change. And then the other guy also went to change. But what he did was that he took my clothes with him, thinking they were his. So during like a dress rehearsal, I needed to walk across the campus because the nearest bathroom was like a 5-minute walk away. I had no one. I was one of like 3 guys in like the group because it wasn't a super big school. But I needed to walk back in my underwear, and it was the closest to the walk of shame I ever felt. And because there was a bit where like I do take like my pants do fall down in the play. There was a bit where my pants fall off, so they gave me period accurate underpants. I thankfully did have my regular underpants on underneath, but I was literally walking around like the guy from The Abyss. I wasn't that pink, thankfully. How am I losing this bad to one guy? Okay, I'm gonna have him fight someone else. But sadly, actually, I'm not gonna share how endowed I am. But okay, me saying that makes it sound like I was gonna reveal something worse. But sadly, no girlfriends came in. Weren't impressed by my pasty skin, apparently. Bummer, I know. Running out of stamina so fast. Because before, yeah, I've lived in 3 countries. Like, technically I've lived in more, but that was when I was like really young, so I don't remember. So I've lived in Canada, which is now maybe like 3 years. Before here, I lived in Malaysia, which is where I did some of high school and like majority of the rest of my school. And I also lived in Australia and like went back there often. I'm basically 50-50 Canadian Australian. If you want to delve more into it, there's like, I don't think any sets of my like grandparents or whatever are from the same place. So I'm like a pack of Wonder Bread where it's just different slices of white. Yeah. Technically, it doesn't help me get any jobs. Not quite the diversity that they're looking for. Let me try them. Let me get them to kill each other. I don't think I can swing that hard. Okay, you get lucky that... Why is this one round taking so long? Okay, then I'll come at him from behind. Okay, I think I got his leg. Okay, I'm... Much like accounting, I'm getting by on the skin of my teeth very often. I don't know why that one round took so long, though. Yeah, what other fun stories do I have? I did go camping while I was in Malaysia for like a Boy Scouts thing. Very much not fun. Like, right when, I think there's like 30 odd guys with me in the group. First thing we saw when we pulled up. Ooh, I always love when a game has that. It just okay. It's very unrelated, but it reminded me of a mini story. So basically, me and my cousins. Also, my cousins, they are all massive because they're all Scottish, and like I think the shortest one is a girl. She's like 5'10", and I think one of my cousins is like 6'8". They're all just refrigerators of people in the Scottish Navy. But what we would do is we had a grandma, right? And she had, when we all visit, she had an electric fence. We had this very fun game we do that's also very Australian, where it was a game of chicken, right? Who could pee on the electric fence the longest? And something I was very proud of is that I won. So, yeah, I don't know if that like sterilized me or did something else, but it definitely changed something. Okay, I'm gonna try and come up with a plan for this guy. I could attempt to aim for his head, or what I could do is just like whack his arm a whole bunch and hope that it breaks. Again, aiming is hard in this game because the more I swing, the further down I look. What if I could try and hit his hand, like disarm him? Okay, the bruising technique seems to be working. Yeah, it definitely was an experience. I've accepted the fact that I am not the sharpest crayon in the drawer, nor the sharpest spoon in the cutlery. I even messed the head up. It's meant to be sharpest crayon in the box, nor the sharpest spoon of the cutlery, or however it goes. So I have done, and the sword dropped. Never seen that before. I have done an excessive amount of very stupid things, per se. But on an upside, it gave me a very strong immune system. For example, I have licked escalator rails and elevator rails. When I was a kid, I licked a lot of rails because I remember one instance I was upset with my mom because I don't remember why, and we were in the mall and she said, "Don't lick that." Unprompted, by the way. She just, I wasn't planning to. And then she told me not to, and I was like, "Oh, fuck you, Mom." And then, unsurprisingly, I got pretty sick after, which I know who could have guessed. And then elevator rail was just because like it was like a little bar. Like, why not? Then I also got sick. This was in Malaysia too, so it's not unclean, but it's so like it's jungly. So like if you stand still, something grows on you, and there's bugs everywhere. So especially compared to here, it was very dirty. Like even it gets clean. They all got cleaned like nightly, but that's because of how like easily things get like infected. So yeah, I got very sick from that. Gave me a very good immune system though, and now no longer get sick from I don't know, escalator rail disease. I don't even get sick that often, which is pretty good because like my dad is like he's a big guy too. I'm taller than him, but he, especially when he was a kid, he was really fragile. Like, 'cause he's like a deep Aussie. But let's see, he's allergic to a bunch of things. He spent a lot of his childhood in the hospital. He's allergic to sunlight. And in Australia, the sun already screws you over by giving you skin cancer. I know like that can happen like anywhere else, but even more so in Australia. And like he can get a sunburn from his computer screen if he's in front of it for too long. So he has to put a sunscreen. Hi, Jeremiah. I'm talking to someone on YouTube. I'm very surprised that someone found me on YouTube before Twitch. But yeah, I was just telling him the story of basically dumb shit I've done as a kid. Oh yeah, I never actually told. You've spat giraffe. That, I was about to say, I thought that was in the UK, so that, I'll say that is wild. Who says white people don't have culture for giraffe poop spitting competitions? Okay, so I'm just gonna make sure I'm reading this right. I've spat giraffe poop in a giraffe poop spitting competition against some folk in the island that, like, I assume it's not like fresh from the giraffe or something. Wants to listen to Nowhere at the Millennium of Space Redux. Don't know what this. Also, if you can hear that, I'm still taking care of my grandmother's dog, who's technically not allowed in the apartments. So if she could keep quiet, then, you know, it would be no problem. But on the off chance you can hear it, actually, I'm gonna see the microphone levels so I know if you can hear it or not. I really wish the multi-stream would work so I could actually see both of you in the top corner. But she's a Chiweenie, basically. Okay, maybe quiet. She stopped barking as soon as I went quiet. But she is very much not quiet. So thankfully, I'm on the landlord's good side. But she is so loud. Now, anyway, back to the giraffe poop spitting competition. I'm gonna make sure you're not bullshitting me. Giraffe poop spitting. Is that a thing? Okay, so it's called Boctural Spoig. I butchered that pronunciation. Where it's a traditional South African sport where contestants spit animal dung, such as giraffe, kudu, or impala pellets, for distance. It's often used as a game on safari. Players place dried marble-sized pellets in their mouth and attempt to spit it. I mean, it's... Okay. It doesn't make it much better, but the fact it wasn't like... Yeah, you did hear the dog, yeah. That's Elizabeth. She is very small, and her eyes bulge, so it looks like someone smacks the back of her head really hard. And, you know, I love her, but also, like, could you not... Because she barks at everything. If you move too fast, if you walk out the door and then walk back in, if you're on a different floor from her, and she hears you make a movement, if anyone new comes into her field of view, I really want to go on a safari. I have a question, because it's going to be a bit before I let go of the poop spitting competition. Like, it doesn't make it a lot better, but I am glad that it was dried. Because when you first said it, I was imagining, like, the giraffe was just, like, off to the side. And it was like, oh, we gave him a bunch of prune juice, so, you know, dinner's up in a minute. And then it was just like you going at, like, seeing, like, who can get the furthest skid mark or something. That'd be a good clip. I'm really bad at clipping stuff. Also, I'm having Pepsi, and something is wrong with it. Because it tastes like cough syrup. It's probably fine, and if something does go bad, then I can do something about it, I assume. So do you travel a lot? 'Cause I am jealous. I really want to travel more on my own, because, like, I have been around, especially, like, with a lot of Asian countries. But, like, I want to do it on my own, because doing it with a family versus doing it on your own is a very different experience. I've never even been to Australia on my own, and that's where I'm from. Also makes me feel like a fake Australian occasionally. It's a weird thing being from two different places, because in Canada I feel like a lot more Australian. Like, people say, "Oh, you have an accent. Where are you from?" Like, I do not have a strong accent. You should hear someone from, like, Also, I'm gonna fix my posture because I'm shaped like a question mark. But you should hear someone from like South Australia do their accent. Sorry. I was trying not to burp into the mic, but the only accent that I've heard. Yeah, I have. I'm so jealous. The only accent that is more difficult to understand is a Newfoundlander's accent, because basically, you get like a super thick Canadian accent, like the stereotypical one of like, oh yeah, I'm so sorry, and then you mix that with a super deep, like a super thick Irish accent, and then you get a Newfoundland accent, where. Okay, also let me actually get back to the game. Like, it is so intelligible. Where, like, I'm pretty good at accents. For a while, I was like, I knew how to do a bunch of them. Not so much recently. I can do, like, a bunch of southern accents, but that one's pretty easy. You know, ironically, I still haven't learned how to do an Alberta accent. And that's where I live. But... Okay, what? Oh yeah, remember what I was... remember what I was going to ask you with that traveling question. Do you like to eat the food? Or you're like one of those guys that's like, oh yeah, I'm in Europe, let's go to McDonald's. Go to Macca's, as they say in Australia. But I have another question. Would you count eating McDonald's in a different country as, like, foreign food? Because even though, oh, it's McDonald's, it has to be the same, right? It can be super different. Sorry, I got distracted because I saw on Twitch my old, like, the profile photo that I changed. I don't know why I changed it, but it used to be the same as it was on Twitch. No, it used to be the same as it was on YouTube, but I changed it, and I don't remember why. And I remember thinking it was kind of funny, but now it's just like makes me a little uncomfortable. You see, if I up the noise gate, then I get cut off whenever I talk. So, okay, what was I saying? Yeah. But McDonald's has like crazy different stuff depending where you are. Like obviously, like Canada. Oh, you know, I've never actually been to the US, but I'm wondering if they have poutine, like US McDonald's, because they have it here. It's actually mashed. You get like a bunch of Canadian foods here. I don't remember which one. No, they had a rock. It wasn't McDonald's. Yeah. Folks with hybrid accents often do well with accents, and despite the differences I don't consider it. Well, if you go to somewhere like Japan, right? Actually, I forgot what I had. Let's see. Japanese McDonald's menu. I spelt menu wrong, but so like in Japan, right? They have like all the regular stuff, like it looks potato pie, Filet fish, but like you still have the grimace shake. Remember that? They don't have bacon potato pie here, right? I feel cheated. Okay, where is I know they have different stuff. I'm just seeing all the. So for some reason they have Tatsuda. I have no idea what that is, but it looks like the only difference I can see is that it's like a burger that has like a tumor on it. I'm looking this up on a different computer. I wish I could show you, but they get, I don't know. Yeah. I mean, my accent is really weird because like my dad has an accent, so I got a little bit from him, and my grandparents have you know, they have a variety. Like my grandma's a British accent, and on my dad's side they all have like Australian accents. Sword was a good option, like at least for this, because these guys don't have armor. But the school I went to was an American school, so I have a little bit of an American accent, and it fades. And a couple times I've intentionally tried to change my accent because I don't want this to come across as wrong or whatever, but I don't want an American accent. To me, it just sounds like boring. But and then I had this one teacher I really liked, and she was British, so started like copying how she said things, like a little bit, but that was brief. I remember seeing a video when I was a little kid and went to that school for the first time. My accent was so thick. I was like, oh kids, how you doing? Oh yeah, I don't think of what to say, so my default whenever I start trying to do an accent is just to say like, oh yeah, mate. Like, I can't put like, oh yeah. I don't know why. Yeah, my accent was super thick. Like, I could barely understand what I was saying. But a couple times I've intentionally tried to like change my accent just so it's more. So how's the frame rate? Because I'm unsure because I'm watching the stream. Oh, you became a voice actor? Oh, that's awesome. I've done some voice acting, but I'm definitely gonna have to take a look at your channel. Yeah, I did some voice acting. I think I was a Pokemon once, but it was for like a fan project. So I tried to look it up recently, but it got deleted. So and then I was into a couple other things that honestly I've forgotten about. None of it was paid. I've only had like one paid acting role. That was an extra in this show called My Life with the Vulture Boys. And I tried watching the show, and it is like hilariously bad because it's like a drama, but it's like meant for like teen girls, I guess. I don't know how else to describe it. Where it's like, oh, I'm a city girl, and when I come to the country, like all these country boys like me. I just want to focus on my fashion. That is like literally the plot of like the first 3 seasons where it's all these boys. I sadly am not one of those boys. Okay, this might sound vain, but I know I'm not ugly, but I think I could be one of those heartthrobs. Not the main one. I have pores, for example. But I could be like the background maybe. Or secondary character. But yeah, I'm a background in that. But the show was really funny to watch with someone else because you could laugh at it. Because some lines were just delivered with so much. They were delivered genuinely. However, they are so cringy. It's the only line that's ever beaten it. Like in my mind for cringiness, when I was watching The Flash, and she was like, "No, Barry, we are the Flash." Like, bro, I knew the show fell off at that point. I loved The Flash show, but I didn't even know what happened there. Yeah. I do want to get back into acting, but the issue is that I keep putting off taking like photos because I am terrible at taking like portrait and like headshots. I did photography. I can take pictures of anyone else, just not of myself, because it always looks. I always look like super weird. What's worse is that like, especially when I take them like at an angle, I always take them at an angle, or whenever I ask someone else to take them, because they're usually shorter than me. There's this one photo that I took. My feet look massive. It's not even a joke. Like, I have big feet. Like, I think it was like size 12, like Canadian, but like, it was not even funny. It looked like planks of wood. Like, I cannot take good flattering pictures of myself. All the good photos I have are just candids taken by someone else. But, yeah. Okay, so back to like My Life with the Vulture Boys, right? I can't say what happens because there's like an NDA that I didn't fully read. It was just don't talk about what happens, but I was there for one day. And honestly, I loved it. Like, see that guy. I was there for one, like, it was only one day, so I don't know what happens other than there's a track and field meet. And I find me getting that role to be pretty ironic, because at the time, I wasn't athletic, and I'm also asthmatic. So, just the idea of me playing someone in track and field is funny. That, and there was like some people that were like 30 that were told to play high schoolers. I really do want to do more though, because I loved being on set. It was so much fun. Yeah. There was one day, like, a bunch of good stories from it. Like, well, a couple guys were like 30. So, like, funnily enough, like, one of the people I made friends with, he was like 23. And he was older than the person playing the coach. Because the way it works is that, like, well, the way it works is that, I guess in the show there's different schools. It was like, and it was so obviously like a Harry Potter kind of thing, where it's like, you have the main school, which is the good guys. That was Gryffindor. And, yeah. You have the main school, they were Gryffindor, and then you have the bad guys who their colors were like, I think they were also green. But they were still there, and then you had like a school of nerds, and then the one I got assigned to, I you know, it's still legal documents that I had to sign, so I don't want to give too much. But even if I could remember the name that I was, the school I was a part of was so obviously like the Hufflepuff school, because other than like, well, again, my oh no, I can beat him. As soon as I get harness my inner Englishman and just like stab aggressively. I did it. I'm a crackhead. Basically, just became a local resident of Vancouver. If you're Canadian, that joke would be so funny. Because basically, there's a fentanyl problem. Because joking about it makes the issue seem less serious. Yeah, no, I loved being on set. Something I've actually done a lot of like different, not theater, but like entertainment industry related things. Like I've done voice acting. There's that one Pokemon thing I did, and like a bunch of other things I applied for. Did physical acting as well. I've also done like a bunch of writing. Like there's this one thing that was like, none of it has been professional. So, you know, the issue, sorry. I don't remember what it said actually, let me see. And the only reason I have it on no blood, oh, it was on easy mode. Okay, bring that action normal. I don't know, what, you're the professional here, what should I set it at? I've lost it on some, like, easy mode. But, let's see what, I forgot what I was just saying. Oh yeah, with, like, professional projects that you do, they especially if they're ongoing, they die out super fast. So this one that I was doing where I was a co-writer, and it was like for you know what Destiny 2 is? Like by Bungie and like Guardians and stuff. There's like a audiobook for that. I was co-writing on that. And it's like, not to be mean, but like the guy was like, I ended up just pretty much writing it because the guy was referencing Spider-Man in a franchise that's like thousands of years in the future. With like space magic and stuff. So I pretty much, yeah, that, I think like 2 episodes came out, and then it kind of died off. I don't think I'll do max damage, because like, especially with the scythe like that, I'll do that. But this game, it's very prone to like something just glitching inside you and just randomly combusting, which in all fairness seems like a pretty realistic, like, pretty realistic thing if like something were to just phase inside me. But yeah, what was I saying? Okay, so I did a bunch of writing. It's something I want to do with one of my other friends who's into filmmaking. Like, the handy thing about this, like the relationship, I guess, is that he likes all the parts I don't. Like, he likes editing videos. I am terrible at editing videos. I'm really good at writing, like, well, according to my own opinion, I'm really good at writing videos. Yeah. They're fun when they're funny, not like, oh, you died with this sword. I don't know. I'm pretty good at writing videos. I'm pretty good. I haven't directed anything before. I want to try that. I'm good at acting, but I hate editing videos, and that is honestly the only reason I don't have any, like, fully, like, made YouTube videos. I have so many half-finished projects, it's not even funny. Like, I have one where it's like, okay, this one is, the one I do have, like, well, like, one that I have is, like, okay, can I give up fast enough? The one I do have, like, well, one of the ones I have is, like, intensely nerdy. Okay, this weapon I don't think is a good option. Am I in the abyss? I am. But basically, you ever heard of like Jurassic World and like, you know, the Indominus Rex? Like hybrids and all that stuff? I basically made one of those. Where it was like a hybrid. And that was like that was a hobby I had for a bit. It's like, there's actually a whole community around it. And it's very fun, and I fully recorded, edited the audio, and I did so much research. That's like the part of biology I like. Like, interesting fact, did you know that like the wildebeest, its muscles are like 67%, basically 2/3 more efficient than like regular human muscles. Like, they produce less heat, more like mechanical energy. It's really interesting. Yeah. Oh, you do full-time YouTube editing? Yeah. That is a dream, definitely. Yeah. Did you intend to do it, or was it like a hobby that you just, you know, started making income off of? I feel like just if I were to just start doing editing more, I'd stop. The biggest barrier is just like, convincing myself to do it, essentially. Yeah, one video I have recorded like, is basically an analysis video of like how I made it, what it's good at, because it's basically making a giant like hybrid for combat stuff. Like, I'm not sure if you would have heard of them, but like, you know, Goji Center, like Goji Guy, I guess they made some. This is a tangent that you probably won't care about. Like, the way Goji Guy makes his hybrid, it's like it's just pulling shit out of his ass. Like, the guy added tardigrade DNA to make it survive anything, and it's like, my guy. That's not how tardigrades work. And he added like peacock mantis shrimp arms so it could punch super fast. It's like, yeah, they can do that, but like not when it's something that weighs like 5 tons. So that's a tangent. And the other video I have is like, again, more nerd stuff. Like, not one that feels like today I'm doing like a political analysis. No, I make nerd stuff. The one I do have, it basically, you know, like Death Battle? Show potential? Yeah. I've accepted the fact I do not have good discipline. Because I'm not going to entirely blame ADHD, but like, not remotely blame it, but like, it is part of like, I have trouble committing to things, because it is so much like interest based. Like, if I'm interested in something, I can hammered out, I can do it exceedingly well, but if I'm not, it is a nightmare to convince myself to do it. But yeah, overall I'm like taking a break from, well, just because I don't want to do classes right now. There's definitely a list of things I want to like commit myself to, so that even if it's not my thing, like, because I love like writing the videos, doing all that stuff. If I had either just a partner who would be fine with doing it, or if I had the money to pay someone to edit the videos, that'd be perfect. Yeah, this takes training. Yeah, the hardest thing for me is just like the barrier to entry. Yeah, just getting started. Because again, all the half-finished projects I mentioned. No one has good, like, no one's naturally disciplined, but like, half-finished projects, I can easily just pick them back up again. Because, you know, the audio's recorded, the idea's there. I just need to, like, you know, do it. But the issue is that, like, oh, it's been, like, 6 months. Do I want to? So it makes me want to, like, start again with a new video idea and doing that. But I realized that set me back, like, it set me back a while. No, I'm not gonna fight. I'm gonna make someone else fight him. I'll jump him. Yeah, it makes me want to like start from the beginning with a new video, and that set me back a whole bunch. Because I actually had this one new video idea rolling around that, like, I think depending on how good this, yeah. I think the video would do pretty well, given like how topical Invincible and stuff is. I'm just getting bad luck at it, I swear. But basically, because I've done a bunch of character design, not professional as well, but I just do it for fun. But basically, so definitely take a look at your channel after and see like what kind of stuff you're making. But basically, what it'd be is designing a character to defeats. I guess you could do Invincible, but like, just to defeat a Viltrumite in general, where like, I really like coming up with ideas. It's just the only reason I haven't made like a shit ton of videos is because it's the editing, where it's like, it's that one part that I know I'm not gonna like, so like, oh, why start? But I think it'd be a pretty awesome series of like designing a character to defeat someone else, and then I already have like a bunch of rules in my head where you can't just make the same character but better. So if I wanted to defeat Invincible, I can't just make like a better Viltrumite or whatever. It has to like make sense, and the character would have to make sense in the world, like you could see it existing in there. And what's the last rule I had? Yeah, can't just be the same but better. It has to be like similar tiered, and there has to be there has to be a way for that character to lose, like that fight. So it's not like, oh, that's. Oh yeah, I remember what I said specifically, where the character has to be like an actual character. It can't be like one designed specifically to counter whoever I'm making it to fight. So like with a Viltrumite, because once I don't love Invincible, it's just topical. Yeah, you'll learn to love me. That's what they say in like Europe and stuff when they were marrying someone that they did not want to marry. Well, the short, it's like designing a character. You underestimate how much thought I put into this, because I just think about it when I'm like walking any of the dogs, or like doing anything, or when I'm about to sleep. The character I came up with, like, oh yeah, so it has to be a way to defeat, and it can't be specifically to counter. The issue I had, like especially with like some of the hybrid videos I made that haven't been released, is keeping it under 30 minutes. Because, you know, when I said I'm interested in something, I put effort into it. I put so much effort into it. Okay, the idea that I had would be, like, have you seen the show? It's like, you haven't, and Viltrumine's basically like Superman, but weaker, and like there's no laser vision or any of the other like random powers. They can just fly and are strong and heal fast. So all their attacks are like purely physical. So my idea was making a guy, I called him Strike, where he's like kind of physics-based, where he'd be like a giant battery, like that absorbs whatever you throw at him. Like he doesn't release his like energy or anything. Like you throw a punch and then he'd be like, yeah, get absorbed, and then he can like either store it or like just hit you with the same energy or whatever. Yeah. Yeah, most people do not have the same obsession that I do with just random science facts. I know that reminds me, I have a geologist friend, and one of her classes that I was so jealous I couldn't take was just the science of Jurassic Park, and it was like a whole class. And I basically studied that for fun. Also, that weird sound you probably heard was me hitting the cord on this mic. Not a very good mic if you couldn't tell by the audio quality. Yeah. Ideally, it'd be like a 10 minute video. But the idea is basically, with a virtual mic, like, you know, all their attacks, like, they hit you, or they have to, like, throw something at you. It's not like mind control or anything. So it'd be like a living battery, I guess. Like if you hit him, he'd absorb the energy in the punch, and you can either use that to like hit you back with that exact same energy, or store it and release it later. It'd be like a living bouncy ball, essentially. So yeah, it'd be that, because it's like no matter how hard they hit him, he could just absorb that, and to him it'd feel like the hand was just resting there, no matter how hard they push, right? So the way to defeat him is like literally just use anything that isn't what I'm calling like a kinetic attack. So like, I don't know, get him sick, mind control, literally anything else. Or like just take him somewhere where, like, does it be physics? So like, sorry, put a bunch of thought into it. And I'm worried that I'm not going to be able to communicate it effectively. Because as you've noticed throughout this entire stream, I go on tangents that are completely unrelated. Yeah. As for, yeah, that'd be one video idea I had. Then another one that's half finished is like, you know, Death Battle, where like this guy versus this guy or whatever. There's just a whole bunch of nerdy videos essentially. So one I have is like, you know, basically just like I do an analysis of an alien from a movie or whatever, and I'd just be making them fight each other. So like, who would win? And it's not power scaling, because I honestly, I hate power scaling, because it's like, oh, you see in this one frame, like this character did this one thing that was just for style, and we calculated how many tons of TNT. It's like, yeah, okay. It's like how Batman would technically be like planet level or something. Oh, they're not dead. That makes me think of like the Batman prep time argument. It's like, oh, Batman can beat Son Goku if he's given prep time. Okay, so the style and format. Okay, sorry, tangents. Okay, so what I was thinking is that, well, I don't think it's called a heat map, but basically, you know that thing where it's like a pentagon? Like, yeah, I think that's a pentagon. It's like this. I do that because I'd only be doing one alien at a time. The one I did was mimics, you know, from Edge of Tomorrow. Those were honestly my favorite aliens because they're actually aliens. Sorry, to the question you asked, I have no idea how I won. So basically, like each of the 5 prongs, like, okay, strength, they were able to do this consistently, blank, blank, and blank. That way, if you're curious about like one specific like part, you could see exactly where, like, why I got it there, like where I got the info from. Like, not the info, why I'm thinking that and why I put them that way. And then I guess we're still doing the alien video. That's how I formatted that one. It can basically be the exact same for just designing anything, where I make one of those It's not called a heat map. I don't know what the hell it's called. But I'm trying to swear less. And not for videos, but just like generally. Because I'm gonna be doing a summer camp, and I need to, swear at little kids. Even though that would be very funny. But yeah, like each of those 5 prongs, and then the final part, it's like here's why they can win, and here's like maybe 1 or 2 methods specifically how, and then here's how they could lose if this happens. So it's not like they always win because blank. I always hate when they do that. Yeah, so that way it'd be like maybe 2 minutes per segment. But definitely I want to, like, unlike how I tend to talk naturally, definitely be like easily segmented so people can just go to whichever part they want. The main thing I need to work on is just figuring out what details are necessary versus not. Because, like, explaining the entire physics of how a guy's powers work probably isn't needed. So, like, explaining, like, what they're able to do probably is. Yeah. What other stuff have I been doing? Honestly, I keep wanting to, like, turn these streams into videos. But with streaming, one issue that I have is that, like, you haven't really seen it, but I'm very bad at talking to myself. Like, it feels like I should be good at it, given that, like, I've been doing it. Wait, shit, no, I should actually check what I have. Please don't say I lost everything. Okay, I didn't. Oh. Damn. Okay, I guess I'm stuck with the buckler and the tiny sword. But, or I might not be if I die and lose everything. Oh, I'm gonna give up. Hey, that was not a good sound, if I had to guess. Yeah. This is just bad luck. Okay, what was I saying? Oh yeah, I'm not good at talking, like, when I'm on my own, because I've pretty much been talking to myself this entire time. But it's just like, for some reason when I know no one's there, who knows? it's just hard, like, even if, like, I just see, like, the counter saying 2 on whatever. Okay, I'm gonna give up. Then it's so much easier. Oh shit, I can't. Okay, yes. I'll do single combat and I just gonna not die immediately. Okay, there we go. Now, if I go back to menu, puts asleep and it's feeling very tingly. Okay, I can. That's better. I'll do Carnage and then I'll just see if I can... That is very unlucky. You know what? I'm gonna be a pussy and... There we go. I'm still just gonna end up just trying to whack him. How the hell did I do that? Yeah, what the hell was I saying? I think this guy should just give up at this point. I don't know why he hasn't. Got completely forgotten about his name. Yeah, so present... I think it was presenting the videos. Oh yeah, no, I'm not good at talking to myself. No, I think I finished that point, actually. Yeah, because even if I just see like the counter saying someone's watching, then I suddenly become very good at it. And I just ramble. But for some reason, like... That's probably what stops people from joining, is because when I'm alone, no one's here. So I'm not saying anything. Yeah, I can do it when there's a script, easy. But it's just like when I'm streaming. They're talking to future people. Yeah. I think I need to get a new mic or just like change the filters, because this one I got for pretty cheap and I don't think it sounds very good. Because at least when I like try and hear. Okay, I'm giving up. It's like when I listen back and I always sound pretty garbled. It always sounds like I should be a pilot. Because that's how they talk mostly. Definitely know how to edit audio though. I'm pretty good at that. I'm just gonna whack them. Yeah, I should start carrying a polearm for home defense. Okay, I'm gonna try something. Okay, that did not work in the slightest. I don't think I can defeat him. Okay, I'm gonna see if I can actually get the good weapon. Come on, give me the thing. Oh, I can change it for free. There we go. Oh. Right, there's another, not story I guess, but one that my dad wants to do, because he's also a geologist. He wants to start making videos too, and it's like, he wants to do like unboxing videos of rocks. And I was telling that maybe you should like lean more into like explaining what the rocks are, not just like, I don't know, I don't want to force it, because he loves like explaining things. But you should definitely lean into that rather than being like, whoa, it's granite. I never knew that's what this would be, because it'd be like, feel weird essentially, because yeah, just explaining what it is and like telling stories, because he's really good at that too. Yeah, no. Okay. Don't know what else I'm gonna try doing. And I'm also just trying to find a good weapon. You know what? So you do YouTube professionally, right? And as well as voice acting. Yeah. Got a Glock and half sword. Yeah. Means they have like a wizard or wizard time, motherfucker. Maybe out of spell slots, but I'm not out of shells, and just like pulls out a shotgun, bang. I'm not good at explaining memes, but I found that so funny, especially because like, yeah. I remember seeing this one video where it's like this wizard shows up. I think the channel's literally called Wizards with Guns. They do a bunch of funny skits. It's like. Tell me, do you want to see a spell where I can make, or a fiery ball makes something I can make iron travel at thousands of kilometers per hour with but a gesture. He just pulls out a gun. It's like, oh, that's not magic. That's not magic. You tell me. Say it's fucking magic. And he just starts threatening the guys with a gun. Aren't you a wizard? Yeah, but this is a gun. Seems more dangerous than a wizard with a gun. Like, I wish you would. He's like just waving the gun in his face. I should be a professional wizard. Apparently that's a role you can get. Not a role, like a job. I don't mean magician like this. There's this one guy whose professional title is literally like wizard. Something I saw, apparently there's this university in England that's like offering like a magic masters for like witchcraft. And there's this other university in the US where you can literally get like a certificate saying you're a pirate. If you do like, what was it? You do a bunch of certain classes, like sailing, and history, and some other ones, you can like get a pirate license. Did you just throw that? Do you stream at all, or is it just making videos? Oh, you're professional. Scale of 1 to 10. How entertaining am I? I already know the stories, 10 out of 10. Because, you know, the Slavic girls peeing on fences. That's professional stuff right there. I should quit my non-existent day job and do this full time. Yeah, definitely not expecting the stream to go anywhere though, because I know like less than 1% of people actually. Everyone's like, oh, I'm gonna be like I don't know, it's not even unproblematic streamer, but there are not many. Yes, I show speed. He's actually, I don't know, I like the guy, and I don't even watch much of his. I don't really watch his content, to be honest. Like I just seen things, and he seems like a genuinely good guy. Okay, will I be able to make it to ban? The videos are bread and butter? Yeah, videos 100%. Especially because I have looked at videos on like, here's what you need to do to become a successful streamer. And it's like, basically it's all just boils down to make a bunch of clips, and it's just I'll essentially just make videos and spend a bunch of time clipping, and I probably could do that, like, well, clips at least, but whenever I watch my stream back, I'm like, why the hell is anyone watching me? They said you do a lot of gameplay videos, right? You said you modded, do you just do half sword, or is it like poorly? Is it mainly gaming, or is it like medieval related stuff? Is there any video that I'm curious? Is there like a video you've always wanted, video or series you've always wanted to make that you haven't yet, either for like money or whatever, other or just reasons? Like things that I really want to do, like dreams type thing. It's probably not a great thing to admit, but I actually haven't spent a bunch of time thinking like what like my dream job would be. It'd probably be making content of some kind. Like, one thing about the more, I'd love to do something like, I know this is like aimed like most unrealistic ever, but like doing like making a documentary series or something, either about dinosaurs maybe, or like it's not obvious I really like dinosaurs, but like, it's like some sort of like nature documentary where like ooh, 40K. I remember I bought like some minis, and because they were Necrons, because I really jive with robots, because you know, I don't know, I just drive with them. And then I moved, and then they all got crushed, and that's before I moved, because I stepped on them. Something I did actually do for a bit was like I'd buy a figure and then paint it. I'm actually surprised you could like make a. Well, it's obviously good content to manage to make a living off of half sword, because it's definitely not like. I do think it's going to stick around for a bit, but it's not like one of those explosive games. Have you ever thought about doing like IRL stuff? Like, this is literally just Booford, and I love watching that. Especially because like how insanely big some of the matches can get. Like there's some you can go to where it's like 120 versus 120 groups, and it is insane. It's also so, I find it so much more fun to watch than just like regular sports. It's like, well, some sports it is like, it's obviously kind of fake. Not fake, but like they're not actually doing anything, just kind of boring. But with Boohord, like they're wearing extremely heavy suits of armor. Also, if you can't see it, but my posture is going back to being terrible. It's my knees right here. But it's just people like beating the hell out of each other with like, they're obviously dulled, but like actual weapons. Yeah, here's a video idea. Definitely credit me for like applying half sword logic to actual combat, and then just go get your ass beaten by a bunch of people on actual Booford. Probably a great method of exercise though, because these suits of armor are heavy. What is that? You get my arm, or is that just like glitch? Back up a little bit. When I say ass feet, like not like, oh, you should be bad at it. Like, gotta go to sleep. See you again? Yeah, I hope to see you again. I love talking to you, man. It always feels like kind of cringe to ask this, but like, should I get a subscribe? Don't forget to like and subscribe, guys. I feel like one of those Minecraft YouTubers that like get some weird drama later on. With YouTubers, it's always the weirdest drama. It's either like they I don't know what they do. They told this one other YouTuber to fuck off, and now we're canceling them. And then other end of the extreme, it's they were found beating their spouse or something in that vein. There is no in between. It is crazy. They rarely ever come back from it too, regardless of how stupid it is. Like, the only one that seemed like actually, at least that I can remember, that's still on his way from coming back to it from it is popular MMOs. It's just like got really into alcoholism there for a bit and said some weird shit. Okay, I'm definitely gonna help this guy first. Okay. You think you could? Oh no! You think I could get a subscribe or nah? I'm not gonna bark for you, but you know, yeah, I do want it. I think I probably have to wrap up too. Yeah. Yeah, it was definitely a fun stream. I'll see about doing it again, but I'm not entirely sure.